Hello YouTube and welcome back to the Grease Comedy YouTube channel. Today's video we will be doing Littlefinger for 25 Days of Winds of Winter. Also, Merry Christmas Eve for everybody that celebrates Christmas. Hope you guys all have a wonderful holiday. I know I will. But let's talk about Littlefinger. He's a guy that I think one of the most morally good characters in the book series. I think everybody can agree with that. What more fitting to do it on Christmas Eve? In all seriousness, Littlefinger, not a great guy, but let's get further into it. So what is Littlefinger's big plan? I've talked about Littlefinger's big plan a lot, and he gives this idea to Sansa that, oh yeah, Sansa, you're going to marry Harry the Heir, and you're going to do this, and we're going to take your forces, and then we're going to go up north, or we could do this, and like, I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. Littlefinger is not someone that would tell all of his plans to Sansa. It's not going to happen. That's not Littlefinger's character. We know from A Song of Ice and Fire, just in general, it just doesn't happen that way. When you hear plans like that, just blatantly like that, someone's about to die, probably. So, with that being said, before we get into the video, if you guys like to like, subscribe, and comment, please do. It helps the channel grow. If you feel that might like this content as well. Let's get into it. So, what is Littlefinger's actual plan? Let's talk about that. So first, I want to actually discount why I also don't believe the Harry the Heir plan. Now, firstly, let's talk about Littlefinger. What does he gain if Sansa marries Harry the Heir? He doesn't actually gain anything. Littlefinger, as of right now, is still in control of the Vale through Robb and Arryn. Right? So, if Robb and Arryn is to die, that means Littlefinger would lose power of the Vale. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, he can maybe control Sansa, and he would rule through Sansa. But do you think it's easier to rule through Robb and Arryn or Sansa? And also, you're also putting in the fact that apparently Harry the Heir would just roll over. Like, you know, because, like, he's banking a lot on Sansa being able to completely control Harry the Heir and manipulate him to perfection. Right? That is a lot to ask from Sansa, who is very young at this point. Now, granted, she has shown skills that possibly she'd be up to this challenge. And I think she probably would be, but it's a lot of risks and a lot of ways this could go wrong for Littlefinger. So in my opinion, this doesn't really make sense to me. What I think makes a bit more sense is him actually killing Harry the Heir. I think it's quite the opposite. That instead of Robb and Arryn being killed by Littlefinger, it's actually Harry the Heir. It could even be it could even be both. If we think about how Littlefinger has been able to manipulate and starting to control the Vale, there is a situation where maybe if all of the heirs die, Littlefinger could put himself in a position to become Lord Protector as in indefinitely. That one, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but that makes a lot more sense risk-wise than getting Sansa and Harry the Heir. Like, you also take the risk that you're losing power over Sansa, where other people could try to take more power. It's just a plan to me that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And then we also factor in the idea here that Littlefinger has shown that he wants to have a relationship with Sansa because of how much she looks like Catelyn. And we've always talked about that Catelyn is really Littlefinger's weakness when you come to it. His obsession with her is almost his weakness. And I think that could be something that we see bites him in the ass. His weakness of not being able to let go of Sansa and killing Harry the Heir maybe is not a good move, because then Sansa can be like, wait a second. Wasn't I going to marry Harry the Heir so that I could get all the power of the Vale and help my family take out the people that hurt my family? And the Littlefinger, like, you see how this could go very wrong for Littlefinger from Sansa betraying him standpoint. So I think where this kind of all culminates is Littlefinger is someone that is going to try and get power for himself. How could he do that? That's the next question. How could he gain more power? He could use Sansa, reveal her identity, try to marry her to young Griff. We've talked about a lot of suitable candidates for young Griff to marry. Arianne, I think, is most likely, but Marjorie, if they flip sides, Sansa could be maybe in this, because as I talked about with Sansa, I don't think Sansa's goal is to go north. I know, like, maybe that she's thinking that is, but Sansa in the book series, even more than the show, is just not a northerner. She's very much a southern lady. She doesn't really, I don't even think, understands the northern politics. So it doesn't really make sense for me. I could see Sansa way more helping out the Riverlands and getting the Vale and the Riverlands combined into an alliance with then the North as well, as the other threat is coming. And then I could see her actually going up north, like take out the Boltons, for instance. And there's also the idea that the show, to its detriment, right, had this idea that Ramsay and Sansa got married. So it made a little bit more sense why personally Sansa was going up there to try and like beat Ramsay. It makes even more sense. Now, again, that plot point didn't make sense just in general from Littlefinger and story-wise, but after they'd already established it, it did kind of make sense why Sansa like would take a force north. It would make sense. In the book, it's like, yes, the Boltons betrayed you at the Red Wedding, but also the Freys did too. So it's like, I don't know. Like, to me, I just don't think that is the route for Sansa's character. So with that being said, I think Littlefinger will be killed. I think he has to die. I just don't see how he sticks around in A Dream of Spring as this person that's always causing chaos, problems for our main characters. When we have so many other things going on, I think what Winds of Winter will be is this book of where Sansa finally overcomes the people that are manipulating her, taking advantage of her, and coming into her own as a person. And with that being said, I think, like I talked about a little bit earlier, is that Littlefinger's weakness of Catelyn will be eventually his downfall. Him kind of creating this fantasy of maybe having the second coming of Catelyn through Sansa, because Sansa very much looks like Catelyn, will be his undoing. Taking multiple risks for getting Sansa safely to the Vale, and doing things that if Littlefinger didn't have an attraction to Sansa, then maybe he wouldn't do. But let me know what you guys think about Littlefinger. Do you guys think he's going to go out in Winds of Winter? Do you think he'll survive? How do you think Sansa takes Littlefinger down? Let me know what you guys all think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.